Hi, if there's anybody on just yet, we're going to start in about 3 minutes. I've got to do one thing and then I'm going to make a little entrance. But if you're here, say hi in the comments and let me know if you have any requests or if there's anything in particular you'd like to see. Let me just get my screensaver turned off so that the computer doesn't go dark in the middle of a song. That would not be fun. So, but it looks like we're going. So, okay, let's turn this off. Great. Okay. All right, sit tight for 2 minutes. Hi, there's Linda, there's Ken. Oh, good, some people are here already. So I'm going to make an entrance so I know when to start the beginning of the video. So bear with me for 2 minutes and we'll be on. Oh, wow, Gary's here, Monica's here. This is great, you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Got some fun stuff planned and also some fun things. Wanda, Deborah. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy you guys are all here. All right, let me make an entrance. 2 minutes. Who's opening? Ta-da! And welcome to Songs from the Culture Wars. I'm Lauren Mayer. I am here, delighted to be here to entertain you. Say a couple more hellos to people on the recording. Pam is here. I'm glad you're toasting Judy. I hope Judy's here. Joyce is here. Wanda, Deborah, Monica, Gary, Ken, Linda. All my regulars. I feel like we have a little community here. It's my Facebook version of like the Bayhive for Beyonce. So thank you for making me feel like a celebrity. I'm going to do a few songs today with the theme of From the Culture Wars, including the Culture War song I did a couple of weeks ago. But I thought I'd start with something that was even a little bit more deeply philosophical. And it's an issue I thought was over and done with, but now that there is another crisis at the border with more refugees trying to enter the country and more xenophobia going like crazy all through the country, I thought it was time for a reminder. I've started the philosophy that informs a lot of what I believe, and I think a lot of you do too. Fix my curtain here. There we go. All right. I love being my own tech crew. I thought this was a country that welcomed in the strangers, the huddled masses yearning to be free. Certain politicians like to scream about the dangers that have no basis in reality. So as this issue's heating up in politics today, to conservatives I would like to say, we are all immigrants, you schmucks. What's with this cluelessness and arrogance, pretending history doesn't exist? We are mostly all immigrants, you schmucks, except for Native Americans who have good reason to be really pissed. Stop insulting our allies like uneducated clucks, 'cause we are mostly all immigrants, you schmucks. Immigrants have search of better lives or escaping wars and horrors they've been through. And as was clearly proven by a couple of Trump's wives, immigrants do jobs the rest of us won't do. Those xenophobic speeches have most thinking people squirming. Maybe Trump sounds better in the original German. We are all immigrants, you schmucks, despite the way Tucker Carlson raves. If he won't shut up, could he at least lower his voice? We are mostly all immigrants, you schmucks, except for Native Americans and descendants of slaves whose ancestors didn't exactly come here by choice. You know you're in the wrong when you're endorsed by the Ku Klux Klan, and we are mostly all immigrants, you schmucks. These platitudes and slogans recall us at our worst. Look up the history of Charles Lindbergh and America First. So much damage done back then from anti-immigrant hysteria. Anne Frank today would be a girl from Syria. We are all immigrants, you schmucks, so stop these nativist attacks. They're un-American, unfriendly, and unfair. We're mostly all immigrants, you schmucks, most of whom pay a lot more tax than a certain orange-faced former guy, billionaire, or whatever era he is. Now my song's not just for yucks, of my point here is the crux. Stop stirring up the muck with hateful rhetoric that sucks, 'cause we are mostly all immigrants, you schmucks. Thank you. So let's see if I've got some more comments. Yeah, Pam's there. So please converse amongst yourself in the comments. That's the one thing with Facebook Live that we can kind of be communicating. I realize there's a little bit of a time delay. If you have requests, let me know. I put it out and I only got a couple in the comments earlier. But I thought I would at least start with the songs that I have put out since my last live stream. So since it's been a couple of weeks, I do have a couple of new ones. And first I'm going to start with the one I just put out. I decided it was time to tackle the filibuster, since that will be the thing that gets in the way of anything we want to get done with this competent administration, even though we control both houses of Congress. So, of course, when I'm thinking about what things need to be busted, this song came to my mind. So here we go.
Nobody serving in this chamber can even begin to imagine.
So you got to pretend this is the ghost of Mitch McConnell.
Would look like. But a completely scorched earth Senate, scorched earth Senate, scorched earth Senate, scorched earth Senate.
If a bill can't pass, even though folks want it, who you gonna blame? Filibusters! Go ahead and sing along. Once rarely used, now some leaders flaunt it. What a friggin' shame! Filibusters! I ain't afraid of no vote. But the GOP doesn't want us to vote. Everybody can dance in your chairs. When so many issues need a solution, stop saying no with filibusters. It's not even in the Constitution, a relic of Jim Crow. Filibusters! I ain't afraid of Joe Manchin. We need procedural expansion. Little aerobics here. Of non-stop chaos, McConnell has spoken. If the Democrats even touch filibusters. But how can you break what's already broken because of way too much use of filibusters? I ain't afraid of old Mitch. Let him threaten and bitch. His hypocrisy is rich. Yeah, 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 yeah. You want bills to address our ills, then you Better kill
filibusters.
The threat McConnell shared about what they do if we dared just proves how much he's scared. Let me tell you something. Busted it would feel good. GOP obstruction has grown. They've made a wall of filibusters. So don't whine and moan. Pick up your phone and call your senator or representative and tell them to fix the filibuster. The cheating type should be skewered. At least they ought to have to stand up and talk like Jimmy Stewart. Remember in Mr. Anyway. It's a toxic mix.
Filibusters.
Of partisan tricks.
Filibusters.
Bad politics.
Filibusters.
So we gotta fix.
Filibusters.
Or even 86.
Filibusters.
In fact, it's time to nix.
Filibusters.
We've gotta stop these from music busters. Oh yeah, filibusters. Stop that track. Let's see if we have any more comments. Let's see, Ken. Okay, I'm glad you like that. I'll do Jen Psaki. Bravo. I'm glad you, yeah, isn't that song fun? Now, I put it in my newsletter. There was a plagiarism suit because the sort of the hook to the song is very much like Huey Lewis's I Want a New Drug, which came first. I like Huey Lewis, and I know it's hard not to be influenced by other music. I find myself mostly plagiarizing myself. I'll start writing a song and go, crap, that sounds familiar, and I'll look it up, and it's from a kid's song I did 15 years ago or something. But I don't think it was intentional in Ray Parker Jr. I mean, it was just kind of an 80s lick. But they did have to settle out of court, so I really should be crediting Huey Lewis. And in fact, I love Huey Lewis, and I've never parodied a Huey Lewis song. So if you have any Huey Lewis favorites you want to have me do a song to, throw them out there. It has to kind of fit whatever topic is hot in the news, but I will try one. Anyway. Save my voice here a little bit. Okay, the other song I did new this week was the song that gave today's concert its title, which is The Culture Wars. Now, it's died down a little bit, but I don't know if you remember all the hubbub because it started with the Dr. Seuss, Theodore Geisel's estate, decided to pull a couple of their less charming and less popular books, including one of his first ones I saw on Mulberry Street, which had a Chinese person with actual yellow skin. I mean, just with chopstick. I mean, it's just awful. And there was one with some Africans done in a particularly racist cartoon. And he did evolve. I know some of his early stuff was a little questionable. But anyway, his estate, his family members decided they didn't want that to be out there representing him. They chose to pull it. Nobody pressured them. But of course, since there was nothing constructive that the right wing could say against the COVID relief bill or any of the other bills that the House is trying to advance, they had nothing to squawk about except the culture wars, claiming that the left is suddenly making all this stuff go away, which is not true. And then the next thing that happened was that MGM, I believe, or was it with Disney, they put a disclaimer on Gone with the Wind, which if you've ever seen the movie, you're going, eek. So that needs a bit of a disclaimer, even if it's a classic movie. And then they also put a disclaimer on some of the more offensive early Disney cartoons. For example, in the movie Dumbo, when there's those crows that have pretty offensive dialects, one of the crows is actually literally named Jim Crow. Again, no leftist pressure. Disney decided to put a disclaimer, but anyway, they went nuts. And I don't know if you all remember Cookie Cot several years ago. The Girl Scouts did a thing about feminists and how great trailblazing women are, and they listed Wendy Davis, the congresswoman from Texas, the state rep from Texas, who filibustered, funny, there's the tie-in, against a draconian bill stripping women of any reproductive choice rights. But of course, the right wing went nuts, so they had a Cookie Cot. They boycotted, even though that's supposedly our thing when we boycott companies who do things that we disagree with. And these proponents of the free market, you know, businesses do bad things, they lose business. That's why they oppose all regulations. But anyway, so that's a very long-winded explanation of my culture war song. So here we go. It's the same old tired story as the fighting starts again, and we're wondering what all the fuss is for. As defenders of our morals start to stir up silly quarrels, seems it's time to fight another culture war. 'Cause if you've got positions that you clearly can't defend against policies that most people adore, guess you need to turn the page and stir up some faux outrage by fomenting a phony culture war. Now, if businesses concerned about their image should decide to pull racist books or movies from their shelves, then why are all these free market defenders horrified? Companies aren't canceled if they're doing it themselves. For years, the culture wars have been an oh-so-easy way for the right to demonize liberals they abhor. Like those unwed TV moms or cute lesbians at proms, showbiz is always good for another culture war. Remember Murphy Brown? They warn of puppets turning kids vegetarian and gay, Sesame Street, to distract from issues they want to ignore. Or when all else fails, they'll curse at a Teletubby with a purse. Remember that? Nonsense and a bonkers culture war. If the Girl Scouts praise a feminist, they start a cookie clot. Disney disclaimers make them wail like a tornado. If fear of social progress is the only thing you've got, you'll raise heck about the sex of a potato, Mr. Potato Head. The whole thing's a diversion and a way to raise some dough as they yearn to turn things back to days of yore. Since of ideas they're bereft, they'll just go after the left, call us woke, and then invoke a culture war. When their arguments all suck, you know every right-wing schmuck will do his part to start another culture war. Oh, brother, it's another culture war. Stop that. Thank you, Pam. I'm glad you like it. So I wanted to run a couple of thoughts by you, and I realized the comments kind of come in a few minutes later, so you can weigh in on this, whatever. I have thought at some point I might do an entire live stream as my country singer character. So I will try one or two of my country songs today and see what y'all think. As you can hear, I even mention the word country and I start talking like that. Problem with doing it is once I put the wig on, it kind of has to stay on because I will have wig head hair after that if I take it off, and I can't really put it on in the middle because it takes some work to get those things on. So let me know if you like the idea of a fully themed, I'm thinking, what can I do with these live streams? It's going to still be a while before we can get out. So I could do a whole show tunes one. I have a lot of show tune parodies. I could do a whole rock one. I could do one of just my original songs. I'm thinking of doing that anyway, just because of the issues with copyright and stuff like that. I could do one that's all COVID, quarantine stuff, because that's starting to ease up a little bit. Well, let me do the one request I have so far. Pam asked for the Circle Back Jen Psaki song. If you haven't watched my live streams the last couple of times, you might not have heard this. I didn't think this song was very controversial. I mean, I'm talking about a positive thing about somebody in the Biden administration, but I honestly consider this my series of my first several after Biden's inauguration. I thought, I don't need to make fun of anybody. I'm just going to do positive things about Stacey Abrams and about how Biden's so calmly competent. And, yes, I guess there's an implicit criticism of the predecessor when you say something good about a current president or member of his administration, but I didn't say anything in the song bad, and for some reason the right-wing trollers just went to town on this song. So they didn't totally go there on Facebook, but if you want to check me out on YouTube, my channel is Psycho Supermom, and if somebody wants to throw a link into the comments, that would be great. If you subscribe to me on there it gives me a little extra. Facebook doesn't monetize, and I'm not there yet with YouTube, but that would actually help me out if you wanted to go over to YouTube. And if you want to see some nut job comments, you look at the comments on this particular song. So let me go to... Government's now full of folks who are extraordinary, but I'm especially impressed by our new press secretary. She's gained a reputation for her brains in every session, as well as for the way she likes to use one pat expression. Circle back, Jen Psaki, circle back. That's her way of saying to the media pack. If the fact's in doubt, you'll go find things out and give more details when you circle back. You're no hack, Jen Psaki, you're no hack. Even when right-wingers slowly attack, you put them in their place with a smiling face and with style and grace. That's how Jen Psaki circles back. She's a bright, refreshing sight to see, and I love her chunky jewelry. She gives facts, Jen Psaki, she gives facts about the vital policies from Austin Acts, and her all-women team is a feminist dream with the top talent decency attracts. Truth is back, Jen Psaki, truth is back. She doesn't care if schmucks on Fox are talking smack. I can't wait to see when she's on TV, and she patiently won't let jerks give her any flack. She's let fun and humor in again. She'll even call on jerks from OAN. She's on track, Jen Psaki, she's on track to make press conferences an aphrodisiac. Forgive me if I guess she's my new girl crush. I'm reduced to mush each time she says she'll circle back. So that was for Pam by request. And let's see, I've got a couple more comments. Oh, Ken, thank you for posting the link to my YouTube channel. So you can go on there. If you subscribe, that helps my numbers on YouTube, and then you're not at the mercy of Facebook in case something ever happens to my page, which has happened to some artists that I know. And Aaron is here, and Aaron did request that I do, let me turn my keyboard on, a little something. I do want to honor everybody's requests if I can. If you ask me to sing a song that I don't know or doesn't suit my voice, I can't always do that, so I will try. But while I'm on the subject of requests and Pam, I did want to let you know that Pam, well, first of all, Pam, thank you. She's always so supportive of my music, and every week Pam goes to my Venmo. All that information is in the description of the show. If you want to throw some stimulus money out there, if you've gotten your stimulus, or if you have not been significantly harmed financially by the pandemic, a great way to help keeping the arts going is to support not just me, but any of the artists who are putting our content out there for free, because this was our livelihood, and I did a lot of performing in public, and none of that has happened for the past year, and it's not likely to happen for a while yet, although things are starting to open up. But it really makes a difference, even just a little bit. You know, Venmo and PayPal have no limit. You can do $1. And there's also my Patreon, which is $2 a month at the entry level. And again, that's a great way not only to support the music, but you get extra stuff. So I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate your comments and your recommendations and your shares and all the various ways that you help me keep my music going. So anyway, this is for Aaron. It's the only little bit I can do, but he did request Stairway to Heaven, and I cannot sing like Led Zeppelin, but I can do this. Yes. So that's as much of that as I can do, because now it gets into the hard rock part. So anyway, happy to do whatever I can if I can. Let me know topics you'd like to hear. I thought for today I'd mostly do political stuff, but might do an occasional non-political one just about what we've all been going through, including this one. The other thing I did want to mention is I do parties, and I've done Zoom rehearsal dinners. I haven't done a Zoom wedding yet. Zoom birthday parties, Zoom anniversary parties, and Zoom bar mitzvahs. I have done a Zoom bar mitzvah party where I write songs about you or your guest of honor or your guests or your organization or whatever you want. So if you are ever interested in having some fun entertainment, making your next Zoom party a little bit different, I can perform some of my original songs that you like. I can do other songs you like. I can lead sing-alongs, and I can write special material for you. So one thing that a few people have wanted to do is sort of acknowledge the elephant in the room, so to speak, when they have a Zoom party, and have a couple of songs about how weird it is that we're in this strange reality. And so here's a song about one of the most challenging side effects of what we're all going through. We're all in this together, as inside we must remain. But the fear and isolation can produce a lot of strain. I'm grateful to be healthy, so I really can't complain. But one aspect of this whole shutdown thing makes me a bit insane. I can't remember what day it is. Sunday? Oh, sure, if that's what you say it is. Lately, okay, that's the way it is. But the tedium's a bummer, my friend. Day after day, here at home we stay. No going out, not for work or play. We're living our own version of Groundhog Day. But at least that movie finally had an end. I can deal with my roots popping or my grungy chipping nails. I can cope with, just online shopping. Oh, I miss the Nordstrom sales. Though my wardrobe needs refreshing, I'll keep dressing casually. But the way the days are meshing's as depressing as can be. Each morning I wake wondering, what's today? Monotony's driving me nuts today. 'Cause we're all stuck in our ruts today. Yeah, it's true, these are unusual times. I'm really losing track of what day we're in. Say, is it March, April, or May we're in? What can allay the dismay we're in? And I know I'm overusing internal rhymes. Someday we'll be able to go out and resume all our usual perks. I'd set a date for a great big blowout, but by then I won't remember how a calendar works, 'cause I have no idea what day it is. Ask me if my brain is okay, it is not, but I guess I'll just pray it is gonna recover when these tougher times are done. So until then, I hope you have a nice day, and can remember which one. Let me go back to my comments. Thank you. Can you do something for my 36? Okay, so Erin, you need to contact me separately about your birthday. It's lauren@laurenmayer.com. I do charge for those, and I do have to work out prices, but I'm happy to do that. I can wish you happy birthday on my live stream when we get close to June 20th, but if you would like me to do a party for you, just let me know. Pam, I'm glad you can relate to that one. So let me just... I do need to let you know a couple of things. As you can hear, by the way, I cracked on that last one. My voice is a little compromised. It's just allergies. Please don't worry. But allergies in California have been bad because we've had some rain and things have grown that weren't supposed to. So I'm doing better, but I'm cracking just a little bit. And Scott is not going to be able to join us today. He had to work today. He works crazy hours, and so he is not able to join us. So I'm only going to make today a 45-minute one, only because talking and singing nonstop for 45 minutes is hard, even under the best of circumstances. But not having my sweetie to come help me out a little bit means I need to rest my voice a little bit so I can save it, so I can do another song this week. Great. put in an email to me. We'll talk about it. But we are eventually getting close to things opening up. I don't know about any of you. I did get my first vaccination shot. And I'm old, but I'm not quite old enough to qualify, if that gives you a hint. But I teach at the Conservatory of Music, and in California, they've opened it up to college-level teachers, too. And they want us back in the classroom because we've been doing virtual for the past year. So I got my first one. I'll get my second one in 2.5 weeks, and then I'll be cooked. And I'm starting to feel a little glimmer of hope. People are talking about maybe some live shows late fall, like November, December. So who knows? And then when, travel is possible again, I'll try to start doing some more touring stuff. So anyway, Erin, you never ask a lady how old she is. I'll just let you know that. And not that I'm necessarily a lady, but I'm old enough not to want to talk about my age. How's that for you? Ken, you're getting yours next week. That's awesome. Pam has had both of hers. My mother has had both of hers, and so has Scott, because he's a healthcare worker. He's a substance abuse counselor, works within a facility. So we have clinics. So we're all getting there, and it's starting to happen. So this is a song that's maybe a little premature, but it feels like, we're starting to feel a little bit, let's see, here we go. Is this it? Here we go. So I stole something Frozen. I know things went open for a while, but thinking about it makes me smile. Who knew we'd even miss our long commutes? The lines at the airport will be fine, and someday I may get my hair done. Finally, I won't have to hide my roots. Seeing actual real-life people without masks will be totally bizarre. Do I remember how to drive a car? 'Cause for the first time in forever, there'll be movies, there'll be malls. No more family home forever, till we're all climbing the walls. Oh, I know that this shutdown is vital. It just helps me to say this won't really last forever. It just feels that way. Someday imagine me wearing heels. Don't even remember how that feels. We're using an alarm clock once again. Normal routines will feel so cool, and when the kids go back to school, we may even miss them now and then. I imagine a huge celebration where folks from all over can mix, like at the end of Star Wars Episode 6. 'Cause for the first time in forever, there'll be hugging, there'll be touch, and I must admit I'd never thought I'd miss traffic so much. I'm not saying open up prematurely, but when it's safe to take that chance, for the first time in forever, for the first time in forever, I'll even put on pants. I just love that song. Yeah. I'm sorry we can't have Scott today also. I realized I should have asked this earlier, but let me know if the sound is off. Usually people will tell me if there's anything bad with the sound. I'll wait and see if we get a couple of requests in, but here is a song that I thought was timely. I actually wrote this the first time, oh my gosh, 5-6 years ago, when the first, maybe after Citizens United and then after the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act. But this voter fraud thing has been around forever. And now, based on the lie about the 2020 election, 43 states are trying to put in place massive voter suppression bills, all under the guise of protecting voter integrity, even though there is absolutely nothing wrong with how anything happened this last election. Thank you, Ken. I'm glad the sound is good. Which is just crazy. And it's all based on a lie that we've known is a lie for a long time. And since the whole idea of voter fraud is a fraud, when I first put out this song, I described it as my being a fraudulent blues singer to sing about it. So here's my reminder. You'd think that making voting safer and easier to do would be a no-brainer and nonpartisan too. But Republicans oppose it, giving reasons that are seriously flawed, trotting out that same old tired myth. But voter fraud is a fraud. Just mention mail-in ballots and expanded early voting. It makes Republicans and Fox News hosts' heads start exploding, especially the ones who voted by mail themselves, which seems just a little bit odd, because voter suppression is a real problem, but voter fraud is a fraud. Now these new ID laws which discriminate, there's evidence to confirm it. Why can't you use student ID, but you can use a gun permit? Red states are trying to make voting harder, and it should be outlawed, yeah, in the name of something that is highly unlikely, because voter fraud is a fraud. Let's do the numbers, okay? For example, you are more likely to win the lottery or be struck by lightning, or to be elected as president. Yeah, 4 years ago, that was frightening. Or to give birth to quadruplets or win an Olympic gold medal. Or to be hurt by a pogo stick or an exploding Rachel Ray tea kettle. Being attacked by a shark is more likely, also flying to the moon. Being canonized or being killed by a vending machine or balloon. Or killed by flammable pajamas or madcap disease. Voter fraud is less likely than all of these. Such ludicrous excuses, this argument is made up, which makes you think which part of democracy are they afraid of? Disenfranchising hundreds of thousands of people, trampling on rights so roughshod. When restrictions are this broad, we can see through the facade of this right-wing boot squad as they shamelessly prod till we're saying, oh my God, voter fraud is a fraud. Yeah, 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 yeah. Schmucks. So yeah, these schmucks trying to change voter laws just because they didn't like what happened. Glad you liked that one. So far, no requests, so I guess I just have to pick a few more. Let me see if I can tell you what else is happening. So far, I don't have any Zoom things planned. I would love to know, though, your thoughts on what you'd like to hear. Do you want, I'm going to still do the every other week Facebook. Oh, I'm glad you like that, Ken. I'll still do the every other week Facebook Live. This time seems to work for you all, because you're here. But if there are other things you would like, let me know. What else can I tell you? It seems like the Zoom concerts go best when Scott is able to do it, so it may be probably the summer before he can do that again. I am playing with learning how to do YouTube Live, and I will put this out there. I'm also going to eventually play with TikTok, because my kids are in their 20s and they've told me they're too old for TikTok, and that to me is just like one big giant challenge. Like, if I've got to try this since I'm so old. The other thing, if I don't usually completely take suggestions in terms of what songs I will do for my weekly songs, but if there's a topic, a lot of times people will suggest parodies, and usually if it's a good idea, thank you, Pam, somebody has come up with it already, and good ideas are great ideas. Lots of people have similar thoughts, especially when it comes to parodies. But if there's a topic you'd like to see me cover, please let me know. I am playing with The Wrong Side of History is just a generic song. Because one thing I'm hoping to do when things open up is to compile some of my less time sensitive ones. Oh, thank you, Ken. Yeah, I think TikTok would be fun. And actually, it's another thing. Let me know if anybody's interested in albums. I floated the idea of doing sort of a greatest hits from the Trump era album, but I just kind of feel like I don't want to even give him any more headspace. But I have done a few more generic songs, like the immigrant songs, like the voter fraud song. And Aaron, you're going to have to drop the La Love It thing, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I can't sing La Love It. Scott doesn't sound good on it. And so he's a great artist. There are probably wonderful people out there who can do it, and it's not me. So here's another of my less time-sensitive songs. Actually, which one was I going to do? Just about how nice it is that we've got experts back in the White House, and we've got a government that is paying attention to experts. And this was actually inspired by something that former President Obama said. So this was quite some time ago, when he was asked about whether he believed in climate change. And he said, yes, I do believe it's real. And someone said, can you prove it? He said, I don't have to. I'm not a scientist. But the government hires lots of really, really good ones who know what they're talking about. So that inspired this, and it's still timely today. I'm not a scientist, which is why I listen to scientists when they say that climate change is caused by human activity and we can't afford denial or passivity. Some politicians claim the jury's out, but if you look at the facts, there's not the slightest doubt. You don't need to be a scientist to heed what scientists say. I'm not an economist, which is why I listen to economists who say the whole idea of trickle down is crazy and people aren't unemployed because they're lazy. The worst inequality since the Gilded Age means we really need to raise the minimum wage. You don't need to be an economist to heed what economists say. I'm not an evolutionary biologist, which is why I listen to evolutionary biologists when they say evolution is a well-established fact and the arguments against it are seriously whacked. I don't understand politicians who are anti-knowledge, especially the ones who majored in science in college. Heck, I was a history major, and I still learned enough to know I believe in evolution, in science, etc. I'm not a tax lawyer, which is why I listen to tax lawyers who said you couldn't exploit loopholes with so much success if we hadn't slashed the budget at the IRS. And with as little as I know, I can confidently say billionaires not paying taxes is not okay. And if you badmouth freeloaders while doing the same thing yourself, that's the textbook definition of hypocrisy. I'm not a scientist, economist, biologist, or tax lawyer, but when I say I'm not a scientist, economist, etc., it means I defer to experts who keep me in the loop. It isn't an excuse to be willfully stupid. These morons won't change their stance one iota till there's beachfront property in North Dakota. There's no reasoning with these dinglings who keep pandering to the extreme right wing. So let's stop listening to a single thing they say. I forgot I put that on there. So that's thought I would do just a couple of my older evergreen songs, finish up with those. Let's see, I did that. The other one I told that I wanted to do. Oh, so one more story. I think I can squeeze in. I think I have enough voice left for 2 songs, so I'll squeeze this one. Ron Johnson. I don't know if you all heard this story. He's the senator from. Somebody has to remind me what state he's from. Yes, I love how Dr. Fauci put Rand Paul in his place. I think Rand Paul deserves a song. I didn't even want to give him any headspace, but he's so gross. But the person who didn't inspire the song but made it, I think, newly relevant, I don't even remember. This was written before the 2014 midterms. I think that's how long ago it was. But Ron Johnson, the senator, said on a right-wing talk show that he wasn't scared during the insurrection on January 6th because, and he said, I know I'm going to get into trouble for this, but I could look at these people and I could see that they were law-abiding citizens who were not any threat and who were not going to break laws. But if Trump had won and the protesters were Black Lives Matter and Antifa, I knew I would have been scared, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for that. First of all, if you ever preface a racist statement by, I'm going to get into trouble for this, you're already acknowledging that it is racist. And when he was confronted about that, he said it wasn't racist. I was talking about the difference between these protesters not being violent and Black Lives Matter protests all being violent, which, of course, is not true. And then he dug himself even further and he said he was only referring to what was going on the Senate side of the Capitol building because he claimed all the bad stuff happened on the House side, which was also not true. So anyway, basically, anytime you preface something with, I'm going to get in trouble for this, or I know you might think this sounds sexist or racist or etc. or homophobic, though if you ever do that, it is. So just a little, so here's a little public service announcement. As we head into the fall campaign, well, that's what that is, we've heard lots of folks complain that some of the things they've said have been misinterpreted. So before their next verbal slip, let's give them a little tip. If you say something racist, people will think you're a racist. The reaction you get might be a bit sour if you retweet people who shout white power. Even Republicans might get mad at you when you defend a Confederate statue. So if you aren't a racist, don't say anything racist. Oh, Cuomo, if you act like a sexist, people will think you're a sexist. Don't claim we're too sensitive as your defense. If you make lots of rude and crude comments, your action and words might need to switch. When you use words, I'm not going to even say it, that's old. So if you aren't a sexist, don't act like a sexist. And if you retweet something anti-Semitic, people will think you're anti-Semitic. This is for the orange one. Just because your wife/daughter converted, don't ignore the hateful words you blurted. Comments about Jews and money, or the times that you said neo-Nazis are real fine people too. Means you can't claim you're not anti-Semitic if you say things that are anti-Semitic. And if you act like an authoritarian fascist, people will know you're an authoritarian fascist. Only crooks whose legal jeopardy is deep will call the press the enemy of the people. Any decent person might have a few qualms about stormtroops you're gassing with protesting moms. If you aren't an authoritarian fascist, don't act like a fascist. And if you aren't anti-Semitic, don't retweet things that are anti-Semitic. And if you aren't a sexist, don't treat your staff like a sexist. And if you aren't a racist, don't say anything racist. As you can tell, I tend to write really, really wordy songs, and I get myself into trouble. So I'm actually going to just do one more really quick one. Let's see. I just haven't seen any of the requests. Let me see if I can find something about Dr. Fauci. Do I have the Fauci song? Okay, this has a lot of... here's a song from Dr. Fauci. I'm going to end with my Dr. Fauci song. Actually, guys, I'm sorry. My voice is like pretty much gone, so I'm going to save Fauci for my next live stream. Let's see if I have any more comments. The comments seem to have stopped. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose my voice. I don't think I've got it in me to even do anything else, and I'm really sorry, but I'm glad you were here. I will do a longer one next time. Scott will be here next time. Please email or Facebook message or however you want to do it. Send me your comments. I'll put one more plug in for my Venmo, PayPal, and Patreon if you want to help support keeping these going. And I promise next time I will have more voice. Anyway, it's been a bad week for allergies and I've had to teach a lot, so that also uses up a lot of vocal energy. But I want to thank you all, and I hope you all get your vaccination soon and that things open up safely where you are. But in the meantime, wear your masks, stay safe, and I will see you all next time. But put some stuff in the... Thank you, Gary. I'm sorry I pooped out on you guys. I had not realized how much I counted on these to having the break with Scott. So, see if there's anything super quick I could do. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you next time, and I'll keep checking my Facebook page for updates on everything else. But go over to my YouTube channel if you want to have some fun. Love and hugs to all of you. And I need to write myself. It's funny, I'm writing some theme songs for some podcasts. I will write myself a little Facebook Live theme song. And if you would like your name in it, maybe send me a little message. Thank you. Yeah, I got to rest this thing. So, bye, guys.